Okay, so we're gonna backtest the start of October to now, and I'm gonna backtest it the same way I would with a live session. So drawing out session highs, lows, etc. The only thing that sucks is I can't see the 2 minute time frame or the 30-second time frame, which is when I take trades. So that's a shame. What is what it is, and I can't see news events. Um, but sorry. Okay, so this example at all-time highs, we were at all-time highs for the most part for this whole month, at least the beginning of the month. Um, so this should be interesting because I'm not great at trading all-time highs. I'm not a fan of all-time highs. Okay, so market opens. This sell side liquidity, so this 4-hour fair value gap. The biggest time frame, we look for possible model. As of right now, this video no good model. Yeah, so the only long you could take here would be the 5-minute inversion right here. But as of right now, it appears that we are bearish, at least on the 5-minute order flow, we are bearish until the ES takes out the London lows and equal lows. So we would look for potential shorts. Price we trace into a fair value gap, which is did. Bearish fair value gap. Oh, it actually tapped into a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Now we would look for entry. 3-minute fair value gap. Back to taking all-time highs, probably because it's SMT. But you'll still be bearish with this SMT, expecting for all-time highs to get taken. But I mean, me personally, I want to take longs just because the Nasdaq did no liquidity sweep. Is it properly rejects off a balance? It rejects off this 15-minute balance right here, but we have another 15-minute bearish fair value gap, so you'll wait for one to get rejected, and then go from there. So this has now made a 5-minute bullish fair value gap. Could potentially look for longs. Consolidating. So ideally, not the best time to take a trade. No consolidation. Fan of any of this. Yeah, this 5 minutes now useless for me. Looks like we want to retake all-time highs, but who knows? Yeah. Have another 5-minute fair value gap. And you could look. Actually, never mind. I would say you could look short this, but it's all-time highs. Don't mind. If this was like 9:30 highs, then you could, but it is not. So wait to see if we get a retracement. Probably won't. right there, but that's way in a premium. Okay, so this stage just looks pretty washed. As far as potential trades, I mean, I guess you could have taken this 1 minute inversion once this ST was put in place, but it's not my favorite because the 5 minute was showing bearish order flow. Um, but if you have taken this trade, you would have entered here, stop loss at the lows, at the close of this inverse value gap, and take profit slash break even at this internal high, which would have played out. But if you want to hold for this whole move, you would have been stopped out at break even. Which is why I started taking take profits at the internal high, just because like we'll take it and I'll get stopped out at break even almost every time. Um, that's been a common thing for me for the past month. Price just doesn't want to deliver price without retrace it back into my entry point. So they're all-time highs. Right over here. You have London lows right here. Here on the ES. We're not gonna worry about Asia session lows because we're at all-time highs. So if it goes back down there, probably won't get an entry. Consolidation could have potential AMD, but in this example, we are building low resistance buy side liquidity on the Nasdaq. But on the ES, we're building low resistance sell side liquidity. So you will definitely want to wait for something more obvious. Now we've taken the top of this accumulation zone, so you could potentially look for shorts, but it is all-time highs. So one way I would short if this 5 minute gets inversed. And this is closure. In real life, I want to take this trade because there is a SMT. I guess not with this low, but with this low, there's SMT, there's equal lows. So it's automatically lower probability this trade because my take profit slash break even point has already been taken. But for the sake of taking the trade on the backtest session, we'll just see if it would have played out with a stop loss at this high and take profit at this low. And as you can see, played out despite the small SMT. And the ES is going to run all of this low resistant liquidity. At the very least, it should. The Nasdaq, not too sure. Yeah, Nasdaq took it as well, so that's cool. So when I said AMD earlier, I was referring to accumulation, manipulation, distribution, which is another reason why this trade is good. Like I said, the only thing I dislike the most, so two things: all-time highs. All-time highs is not fun to trade. And we had mini SMT going on, but AMD is accumulation. So right here we can see that this is all accumulation, right? Here is our manipulation. Our manipulation candle, very similar to how we take entries, right? We're looking for the leg that took liquidity. Here. And then we have our distribution phase. This is distribution, obviously, right? So this is AMD. So basically, when you see a long series of consolidation that then randomly price comes up and takes one of the ends. Usually, if it's a proper AMD, in this case it was, price would come back and take the lows of the accumulation. It's a pretty simple accumulation trade there. One of the few trades I don't believe I would have been stopped at break even. Break even. Yeah, this one would have actually played out fully. So that's cool. It is now, what time is it? Look for trades. So we were pretty bearish until these London lows gets taken. So we will definitely be looking for London lows to get taken and rebalance of this 4-hour Ferrari gap. So if a model will be given, I don't know. Price retraces back into this 5-minute bearish Ferrari gap. Potentially look for a trade here. I don't see any SMTs. Love to know if this is a 2-minute Ferrari gap, but I can't tell. Price action here. Okay, so technically, there's a trade that makes sense if it gets inverse, yeah. But not something I would take in the real markets for the simple reason of either to take the trade based off of our initial manipulation candle, at which in this case our manipulation candles would have been this move right here. So this is the original candle, but I like to see price get inversed within like 6 candles max. Out of fair gap being made, as you can see, way more than 6 was made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it took 17 candles to inverse this. So that's one reason why I don't like it. Another reason I don't like it is ES looks like it wants to, oh, we'll take this before the NQ, make it SMT. So it's just a lower probability. Now we have an SMT. And then yeah, ripped right up, been stopped out for a loss there, purely due to the SMT. Now for me, if I did take this position, my stop loss would have been moved to break even the second we made the SMT, which in that case was this candle, so it would be a very short-lived trade, but stop loss would have been moved to break even the second I saw the SMT get made, and it would just been an unfortunate trade. So now we can look for a potential stop raid and then go back into a short. Technically, this trade would have actually played out. Take at least taking the take profits that I would have taken, which would have been this internal low. But we're not interested in that because no liquidity was taken. Okay, nothing there. Prices now just came down. I swept these London lows. It is a bit later in the market than I would like. Take a position. It's 11:15. Um, started. For that, yeah. And we're building low resistant liquidity the whole way down, so price not efficient. Not seeing anything I would like. This trade right here. We have this 5-minute Ferrari gap right here. Is there any extra confidences? Because off rep I do not like it. There's SMT. Alright. That helps. I would need to see this 5-minute get involved from the actual position, which it does. Maybe you could take this. I wouldn't take it necessarily. It's A, it's almost lunch session. B, the fair value gap is quite small, and the risk reward sucks, like way worse than usual. Look at that. Take profit here, here at the wick. like I said, it's just not that the best time to take a trade. Um, as far as why it failed, let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's fine. 1 minute SLT was made. So at that point in time, I would have moved stop loss to break even, but I am back testing, so I'm not gonna look at every little single detail. Um, but yeah, I mean, SLT was made. Would have moved stop loss. I mean, in theory, yeah, like a lot of these would have probably made SMTs while it was coming up. Um, but this is the highest I've ever had. Yeah. Um, that's why. Dumped. Price looks bullish. Crazy wick. It's probably meant, but that swept out London lows both time frames. So not ideal, but it is what it is. Have a bearish SMT on, well, on both indices, but overall not the biggest fan. This is technically protected at low, so prices have to come back to it, but not a news crazy buying volume right there. Um, yeah, nothing I see on the bigger time frame that leg. So we'll just get some on the 5 minutes, see if it shows up. Now we do have a retracement back into this 5 minute fair value gap. Not the biggest fan of it, just because like bigger time frame targets are taken. This is a protected high. We have a bearish SMT still. I should just put another SMT. So I'm not a big fan of it. But we all coming off of a bullish SMT. So overall it's pretty sloppy. Probably would have traded. Trade would have played out, but obviously you would not take this because right there is our break even take profit zone. Ideally, you'd want to take along like here, target that instead of taking along here. That would have been hit if there was an entry, but there was no valid entries. Back to the 5 minute and we wait. At this point in time, we are bullish until we start seeing bullish structure get disrespected. Right here, it looks like we're gonna inverse this 5 minute fair value gap. Let's see if we can find a reason why we are daily, nothing on that 4 hour, nothing on hourly, nothing on 15 minutes. So, oh, okay, price might want to retrace back into this 15 minute fair value gap, which I mean we're still bullish if it does. But let's see. We actually inversed it, and then inverse is 3 minute. So we're not interested in any trades there. Though technically, yes, you could take this 3 minute version. I want it. Play out. So if we get closure below these candles, we can change the state. We are bearish until this 4 hour fair value, or until this 15 minute fair value gap. Let's come off this 5 minute, but we're not interested in looking for shorts because on the 5 minute we're still bullish. Why we won't looking for shorts because we still have a broken structure. And oh wait, no, it's up to you. I'm tripping. Overall, it's like no like entries on this day. What the fuck? That's crazy ass candle. Happened for a while? Oh, well, I should about disrespect for a while. Oh. First enters 5 minute Ferrari gap. Any potential trades? It's 11:40 though, so not ideal time for trading. No entries. A 5 minute bearish for I got right here, but really nothing there either. There's just way too many bullish confluences here. Price comes in and taps into this 15-minute Ferrari gap. Could be a 30-second trade here, but obviously I don't know. Take this. Take profit at the unfilled 5 minute, which is right here. Stop loss, these lows. But it is 11:30. It's not my favorite time to trade. And it gets banged. And then now we have liquidity sweep is have a 5 minute fair value gap and SMT. So in theory, you could look for shorts there. But for the simple reason, price looking so bullish, I'm not too interested. And there's a bullish SMT, so I mean that could honestly get inverse for Wouldn't surprise me. So that gets inverse. So in theory, this is another entry. It's a late entry, but in theory, it is one. Price is coming off 15-minute fair value gap. We have an SMT. I should have a bigger SMT, but that one works. In theory, you could take buys here. Obviously, I want it. I would look how high up we are in the range, and I would look how it's almost lunch session. But bang, still would have played out. And all I'm doing is just trading with the trend, following the 5 minute. If the 5 minute is bullish, I'm looking for bullish trades. The 5 minute is bearish, I'm looking for bearish trades. Simple inversions, coming off of a fair value gap with liquidity sweep, and the SMT is a nice bonus. It's not needed, but it's a nice bonus. And I'm taking take profits at my break even slash internal high or internal low. So for example, if I want break even there, and if I entered right here, but I haven't stopped at break even, it would have run. It would run. Okay. Pretty crazy consider that's all-time highs again. But what it is. Okay. Daily, I would say all-time highs, obviously. Sort of break structure to the downside. Your building low resistance, sell side liquidity, but we have a inverse, so back to probably this 1 hour Fibonacci we inverse. Then we have AMD. Yeah, definitely expect the price to be bullish. Once again, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So I mean, we'll see what plays out. Like I said, I mean, we still are inside of a 1 hour fair value gap, so I mean, easily reject off that, but yeah, see, it still played out to this high, so pretty simple. AMD is really good, but you don't always see it, and sometimes getting the manipulation leg right can be tricky. But simple AMD, and what's the 1 hour small SMT, but should be fine. We have Asia highs right here, so we're bullish. I would like to see price retraces to the 15-minute over this 5 minute, but I mean, in theory, you could take a trade off this 5 minute. No trade off this 5 minute. I see this is what I mean when I say AMD is tricky because technically this is AMD accumulation, manipulation, and then we never properly distribute to the downside. I mean, I guess technically you could count this whole leg as manipulation. I just don't like how we made the order block right here. Oh no, see, still didn't play out properly. So just waiting for something. This is actually now a 15-minute fair value gap and not a 5-minute. So if we get the stop rate right here cleanly enough, if you haven't got it yet, could look for a entry. Equal lows with it. We did take it, but there's no entry. There's a 30-second fair value gap there. Maybe a trade, I don't know. But I mean, the internal high did get taken, so we'll never know if that was a winning trade or not. It is. It is. Getting rid of that because that fair value gap is mitigated. It's not used up. It's useless. Yeah, well, I mean, without a doubt, it's gonna run up real quick. At least to this. Even though I did say that 15 minutes useless, I still do think that. Um, we did get a 5-minute version and crazy momentum. That's something I would take. I mean, if you look at the risk reward, pretty ass. We still would have played out, so I mean that's cool, right? And so for some reason you would enter here, whatever. And get yourself a nice 0.1 risk to reward. Time is it? Hey, it's still time for trading. Make a 5-minute Ferrari over here. If we give a trace, we look for a trade. Okay, or we just won't give a trace, but we'll just fucking invoice solve it. Unlucky. Um. Okay, so you can argue right now is bearish. We've invoiced these two 5-minute fair value gaps and we have changed the state. So we'll wait for this quick 5-minute fair value gap retracement into the 5-minute fair value gap. And if you look on the 5-minute, actually, it does look like AMD quite a bit, right? Accumulation, manipulation, a potential distribution. So we'll see if it does want to distribute. With equal highs slash Asia highs right here, I mean taking shorts is pretty risky. And we have bullish SMTs, so probably be best to sit out on this one on the real shorts. It was a model here, but price came and took my break-even slash internal low area, so it's no longer a valid model, so we're not gonna take it, but I can see it playing out. Yeah, it played out just fine. Simple fact of it being AMD. But invalid setup. Good tape read though. The price come to this 5-minute or 15-minute value out. What do we just take? But now we have an SMT. I mean, in theory, if we invoice this 1 minute, it could play out. Still don't like it though. If we SMT was something that was important, it would make this trade a lot better. But we didn't, and price is still pretty bearish at this time. But would have played out, so that's cool. Didn't like it, right? With the 15-minute fair value gap right below us, it just was a high probability. Price is starting to look bullish now. I made 5-minute fair value gap. We have 5 minute change of state. Price already did retrace into it. There is a model here. There's a bearish SMT right here. So not going to take that because there's a bearish SMT, and we are inside a 5-minute fair value gap. So yeah, not gonna take it. We invoice this. Shorts looks good. Not invoiced it. We got close to invoicing it. See, but does it count? Never invoiced it. Price finally took out the session liquidity that I want to see, leaving behind low resisted liquidity run. So it is lunch session now, which blows, but we'll see if it was an entry. I mean, I could see a potential one, but I mean, if given, it's. This is where shit gets like tricky, for example. Like, yeah, price came into this 5 minute Ferrari gap, and now we have a 5 minute inversion. Mechanically and pattern wise, it is a very good trade. Um, I could see this playing out, but because we just swept session highs inside of this hour Ferrari gap, and now it's lunch session, and I mean, yeah, the 5 minute is bullish. I just feel like it's low probability. Could have played out. I love good old all-time highs trading. Fucking back to all-time highs. Yep, all-time highs. So fun to trade. Oh, this was the 7th. This was the day where Trump tanked the market. Yes. Mm, on the force. Yeah, whatever. That's a crazy dump though. Yeah, that's crazy. Or is this what Trump called China hostile actually? Trump did do that. I want to tell me, dude. Really? Whatever. Um. Okay. Off rip, I wanted to be bearish, but there is this bullish SMT in play. So it's not gonna be a fun day to trade whatsoever. Have some slight AMD on the 1 hour time frame. We have an hour for bag up here. I mean, this is a consolidation, so like it's not ideal to trade, but we'll see if we can find something. So still probably more slightly bearish than bullish, despite the SMT. The SMT is rather old. Yeah. The older the SMT, the less weight it has, the less it matters. This looks like a Newsweek. I'm gonna put on Forex Factory. Nothing. If I still retrace into this 5 minute February, no model plus SMT right here, right? This is bearish T, so you wouldn't want to take that anyway. Interesting. So we're just trading back into this 15 minute and hourly. February, 3 minute. Let's see if this. I don't know how many Candace is taking. Okay, so off rip is not a bad trade. Um, I mean, off rip is not a terrible trade, but I don't like how there's SMT being made. Right, there's a SMT right here. Something I don't like it. And I don't like how many candles it took. It took like a shit ton of candles. But we'll hit a buy just for trade sake. And played out just fine, so that's cool. Wouldn't be a bad trade to take. IRL. For the simple factor of price is pretty bullish. And bigger time frame, I don't think it is personally. I think all the bigger time frame looks bearish, but 5 minute, we're still holding 5 minute order flow. We also had accumulation or AMD right here. Accumulation, manipulation, and then of course our distribution. So with AMD, so that helps a lot with the setup. Plus just the reaction off this 15 minute. The reaction was really good. And then the momentum where we inverse this value was really nice too. What I mean by that, like all these candles right here are wicking the small bodies, and then the candle that actually made the inversion is this huge, big, perfect candle. So momentum was there. And then technically, you could ideally target this 5 minute high as a take profit, but following the plan, we won't do that. And funny enough, I'm pretty sure you missed out to break even right there. Yes, you would have. See? So you take profits at the internal shit. Now it's been taken. So you take profit at the internal high. Would not been a fun day for you. I expect this to low key get ran through this 5 minute fair value gap because it is AMD. And we're projecting this 15 minute fair value gap. Bullish order flow still holding, so we'll just wait. Only way to flip bearish is if we get change of state right here. Now we have change of state. Now we can look for sells. A model though. Not really. Not equals. The price will retrace into this. Did we get a 3 minute inversion? We do have this 5 minute. But as far as taking sales from it, like the inverse is 5 minute, I don't particularly like it. Does look like AMD. At this point, I would have traded because like 5 minute order flow is started to flip bullish. We did make a SMT down in here, so there's bullish confluences, but at the same time there's bearish confluences, right? For example, this, this is there's too much going on. Oh, it's lunchtime anyway. That is why you do not trade during lunch. It comes dog shit like that. It's too hard to tell what the market wants to do. I wondering why price action looks so bad. Right? I'm pretty sure I don't have to say. The hour is starting to flip bearish. Yes, has really nice lows. It's still liquidity on the big ground. Yeah, this 1 hour candle closes. Okay, yeah, so we got 1 hour change of state right here. SMT, so keep that in mind. I would like to see the sell side you're taking, but buy side doesn't look bad either. The SMT is have this alpha value gap. We also have the stop rate. So stop rate, SMT, and we have low resistance liquidity run into this 15-minute value gap. So another scenario where both longs and shorts make sense, but I don't know. Let's wait to see if anything is provided. I don't like take a trade on either side, to be honest. Let's we trace into this 5-minute value gap. There's SFT though. That's to be expected when taking lowest liquid. Technically, take this. We'll take it just for if it's not 15 minutes. We'll take it just for backtesting using, but you can take the short. Price came up, performance stop rate, took liquidity, rejected our 5-minute value gap. With this SFT at the highs, and it was 5 minutes. We have our into a low and unmitigated 5-minute value gap right here. Ideally though, the thing I dislike the most is SMT. This SMT is not ideal, and don't like it. And it's like the counter trend. This trade is kind of a reversal, but not really. Not really. Not clean, that's for sure. Bang, take profit hit, and then what? Is it flip bullish or? Does it look like price wants to continue being bearish? Exit off this 5-minute. Another scenario though right here, which I dislike, is when prices in between two fair value gaps. For example, this is obviously a bullish fair value gap, but this is a bearish fair value gap, and it's hard to know how to trade this per se because I mean price could respect and disrespect either or. So best thing to do in this scenario is wait for one of them to get inversed. Okay, so that got inversed, but does this get inversed? Does. Already SFT, there is technically another setup. Price stuff this low inside this 5-minute fair value gap, and then we have 5-minute inversion. But I do dislike it because price is generating liquidity. This is all generated by side, and we haven't had any like proper manipulation yet, like whatsoever. So you could take and this SMT, right here. You could technically take it. Not the biggest fan of it, but backtesting, take it. It would have played out. That's the power of the 5-minute short. Okay, now I would say price is 100, maybe not 100%. Is very bullish. Why? We pretty much have this change of state right here. This looks like a market maker buy model. Oh, never mind. We got accumulation instead. Ain't much you can do about that. It does look like a really nice potential AMD though. Yeah. SMT, the ES ran out of liquidity. RIP, losing trade. But the reason why I kind of just like jokingly took that was because it did look like an AMD. That being accumulation, manipulation, distribution once again. But this is what I said earlier, where the manipulation candle can be tricky to find because like this looks like perfect manipulation. We had SMT, we had everything. And we had this great 3-minute inversion with good momentum. I mean, you could have managed this as well differently to make it so it was a winning trade. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, like right here. I mean, you never mind. This should never been a loser trade. Actually, I take it back. We made an SMT. We made a pretty fat SMT at that. Um, and actually looks like the 3 minutes made SMT. So if you just look at the 3 minute, like how it just was, it would have kind of stopped. But if you did any quick glances at the 1 minute, you would have saw there was a fat SMT. So not a real losing trade. If you just quite literally just pay attention. But like I said, I am back testing, so not really all too concerned about looking for small SMTs. Okay. Of the 4 hour time frame, that's cool. So price is bullish. 1 hour for I over here. $15 minute. Okay, yeah, good example right here. Price on the big time frame is bullish, but on the lower time frame right now, it looks somewhat bearish. I say somewhat because there is this SMT. Open. There's nothing good I see as right now. Just wait. No longer SMT and price did tap into, what did I say? This was alpha value up, yeah. So anything of interest. Oh, is this liquidity? When it's no longer valid, price looks like it wants to stay bearish. So is this a liquidity run on the 5 minute? So at this point in time, probably just gonna look for sells until we break structure to the upside. We trace back into this 5 minute fair value gap, but like we like don't like it. I mean we're so low on a discount. Very low on a discount. Great entries off this fair value gap, so yeah. Looks like price wants to flip to being bullish. That's a shame. Okay. So there is a solid 5 minute setup, right? This inversion. But price just entered into this 15 minute bearish rally gap. Um, so not ideal for taking longs level. So rather unfortunate. Cannot take that. But we can potentially look for a continuation long. This looks like a manipulation move, right? This whole swing looks like a manipulation move, but we'll find out pretty soon. And if it gets inverse, you could take shorts. But look how many candles it took. I'll still look how I went into the high I got taken. Um, so overall. probably will go up back and take these equal highs, but I don't like how pricing my TP slash break even my internal highs. And it's SMT. No, wait, no, it's not. You do this just for backtesting examples, and it played out just fine. Um, and another confluence for this trade, I suppose, is how big this manipulation can, or this bullish candle is that inverse the fair value gap. It's pretty big. Good momentum, but I want to take it for the pure reason of my internal high right here being taken. On the live market, if price it closed like here, for example, and then I would have done something like that. But it didn't, so it is what it is. So as of right now, this looks like a reversal. Does not look like a manipulation move. So we could potentially expect price to be bullish. But I need to see this 15-minute get in both force. Dip ahead. Yeah, okay, so we're bullish. Cool. The 15-minute fair value real quick. Do we get a retracement back to this 5-minute for entry? Not big as Chili's. Okay, so 5-minute, not the most valid anymore. But we do have 15. Oh, these are 15 minutes now. So can be valid. The inverse is 3 minutes, a good short. It's back to the 15-minute time frame, or 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, we did not get it. Yep. So prices look like quite bullish, but it's lunch session, so we're not too worried about that. We'll be needing probably more bearish today. Massive dump. Don't call China hostile, that's right. But be more bearish today. This is was traced on the 5-minute, which was not. Okay, yeah, it's just another wash type of day. I guess you could take the what's this SPC? No, I was say, I mean, you could have taken a trade off this inversion, or yeah, I mean, off this inversion would have been fine, or the retracement, but no, this liquidity wasn't taken, so not really the best of trades. Let me skip to the 16th real quick. The example I wanted to show. day. Should be somewhere within this. Yeah, actually, I can't find it. So I'm gonna go on my account and okay, couldn't find the example, but that's right. Probably be done with the back tester today. So, not the biggest fan of back testing as much anymore. But we'll see the results of this back testing night, if you will. The 80% win rate, will take that. 2 losses will, I mean, that real losses in my opinion. Um, like I said before, those were trades I probably wouldn't have taken in real life. And of course it says, negative P&L, but would have managed risk differently on a live account. Um, so I mean overall, 80, realistically 100% win rate, but 80% win rate. We take those. And like I said, the P&L, I would have managed my risk a lot more. Instead of letting it dump and take the swing, I would have entered, of course, at the closure of my fair gaps. But it is what it is. The thing that does suck about this is the risk reward is shit. But as you can see, I mean, win rate super easy. Um, so yeah.